What in tarnation is going on? And why sideways? YouTube failed. You just told me. Oh, goodness gracious. Stand by. It's a good thing we tried to get on here a little early. All right. So is this orientation right? Because YouTube's saying that it was supposed to go the other way and they just arbitrarily kicked it that way. See who checks in here. What's going on out there in the YouTube? No worries. Nothing. It's all good in the hood, right? As they would say. All right. Oh, we got some people checking in already. All right. Hey, what's up, Truth? How you doing? Truth never sleeps, I don't think. So is the orientation correct? Like it was supposed to be vertical, but it's horizontal now. So can you see everything upright and breathing, I guess? Anybody else checking in? Just let me know if the looks good. All right, sounds good, I guess, if you can hear me. If you heard that and you say that, then I think we're good to go. What's up, C103? Good afternoon. Yeah, there's a war abounds, right? So much for the peace president. Oh, yeah. We'll give it a second to warm up. It is a little early. I was like, I wanted to put the notification out just to give people a heads up, but I wasn't sure exactly what time I'd be ready. So I gave myself a little leeway to do things. Once again, fun day of moving hay around here. What's everybody else been doing around there? Where's the get the chat running right? Trust your gut. Good evening, C103. All right. Yeah, it's been an adventurous weekend already. But I wanted to do the unboxing, so I'll let and see who rolls in here. This might be the last unboxing we do, just based on all the factors of everything that's going on. But yeah, obviously the news is catching everybody's attention yesterday evening, and now again. What was it? Not quite about 22 hours ago, when all of the things kicked off. Interestingly, in broad daylight, and continued throughout the day, and some back and forth. And there's been rockets and drones and missiles flying all over the whole Middle East, not just Iran or Israel. All the UAE, I guess Kuwait, a base in Iraq, like all the places have been hit with various types of missiles or drones. It's hard to confirm, exactly what all the time, but it's an interesting situation. Sounds like the El Presidente is trying to get the Iranian people to rise up and take over, throw off the government and kind of take it over that way. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes as things progress, and if any of that occurs. Or it's hard to envision anything positive coming out of any of this after we're all jaded from the last 25 years. But you never know. Maybe a general had a sense of dignity and decided to actually be useful for once instead of just kowtowing to politicians and doing what they're told. I don't know. General's whole job should be to get it over with quick. Meet the goal, meet the mission, get it over with. But who knows what the mission is declared behind the scenes versus what's up front. Obviously, as many have pointed out on the X, on the Twitter feed, is Iran and Venezuela are China's two biggest producers and benefactors of oil. Two huge legs of the tripod, if you will, of supplying China with oil, and taking them out. They've effectively. Changes the whole chessboard in a lot of ways. So I don't know. We'll see if that's the plan or what. Yeah, we'll see what actually gets hit. If the Strait of Hormuz actually gets closed, they're claiming they closed it. There's some slowdown, but it doesn't mean it's fully closed. There's rumors that a U.S. submarine sunk a Iranian submarine. There's all kinds of stuff like that floating around that can't ever prove it right up front right now. But there's also on the bigger picture on that some of that. There was a story that all the insurance providers for all these oil tankers, a bunch of the people who do the insurance bonds and stuff on that, have pulled out and pulled all their backing. So basically, anybody that goes through the Strait of Hormuz is uninsured. So if they go down, they're not getting paid. It's like a risk management thing. They went in and made that announcement. All right, let's get this started. Let's get this box open. And I was saying, leading off, this might be the last one. I don't know, maybe ever that we do, especially that we do on the YouTube. It's gotten so anticlimactic, as you'll see. Like you order 3 ounces and you're already meeting your shipping requirement, and that's about all you can afford. So between the price and the world famous Lake Knife, everybody remember? Shout out to Guns Coast to Coast, the artist known as Midwest Prepper. Him and his trusty blade. But just based upon which way is this thing open? I always have a hard time with these. And they all do it a little bit different. But just based upon the prices of all the shiny stuff, like this might be the last one we do ever. Especially come Monday, if what happens, expected happens, and this silver's over 100, gold pushes like 56 plus, 5600 plus, all the other things, all the other items, right? Thank you for your support. Everybody knows. But yeah, real minimal order, if you will, compared to what you get a few ounces nowadays, and it meets all the highlights, right? So this order was actually back in January. Silver, I think spot was like $71 when I made this order. But it's talking about maybe the last order, like the backlog and everything, the way things take forever to get through, like makes going to the LCS a lot more justifiable and easy. But if you want to get specialty items like this in particular, so this is kind of my collection update for the year. Getting interestingly, is there no packing slip in here? That's kind of odd. Usually there's a packing slip. It's in the very bottom here, which is fine. Just want to verify I ordered what I thought I ordered. It's always good to match up paperwork, right? Yes, indeed. So this is just my 2026 catching up on some of the collector's items with the Perth Mint stuff. Just I think we got 3.5 ounces here, and that taps you out for the month at least. So let's get these out here, out of the bubble wrap. Who all's on? Truth just filling up the chat. Truth just throwing it all up. Nobody else is on. If you're in the chat, say something so Truth doesn't have to fill up the chat by herself. But hope everybody got your gas ready. I mean, it's one of those things you kind of expect gas prices to go up, but also who was it? Joe Primal was talking about a couple videos ago. the gas flow is fairly robust at this time. It's not like we have a shortage. That's kind of why prices have stayed down a little bit and not getting crazy. But they did kind of start going back up around here recently. And yeah, like 350. It's like, goodness gracious. Maybe 345, something like that. Like in the middle of winter, like it shouldn't be like that. Well, for what little winter we've had, that's a separate subject. But yeah, getting your gas cans filled up just to be ready for the week, and whatnot. C103 went to a ham radio show. Right on. Didn't buy anything, just met folks. Well, that's good. Those are key methods of communication, right? So what do we get in the box? We got the updated Year of the Horse 1 ounce. I think we showed the 2 ounce at the beginning of the year. So we got the 1 ounce Year of the Horse. You know who's on the other side. It doesn't matter. This is the side that matters. So that's a score, part of the collection, just adding to the Perth Mint. They just do an awesome job on their collector items. And got a 1/2 ounce Dragon. They had this was the sale piece that was on the deals page. It's actually 2024. 2024 is the Dragon. And just getting that smaller, they had these for sale. So it was cool to get that. The Dragons are real popular, but they can afford to give them away cheap when they prices go up the way they have. The amount, the price. But it's a cool coin, the Dragon. And for Dad on YouTube, whenever he checks in, I got my 2026 Kookaburra. So we got that going for us. Dad got his recently, I believe. So that goes into just the 1 a year collection to keep up with the Joneses. Another cool coin the Perth Mint does. They're just always knocking it out of the park with everything they do. Yeah, the Kookaburra 2026. So that's that. And I got one more of the Cowboy rounds. I think I talked about it at my year plan last year, planning for 2026, that I want to do a tube of these, but the way things are going, we definitely going to make a tube. But the Cowboy rounds are really cool, from Scottsdale Mint through SD Bullion. Really cool design on the Cowboys, and they have the Rifleman. That's a really cool. Hopefully they come out with another Cowboy type round that's another type of design, between the two, of a Buck and Bronco, and then the Rifleman on the other one. But I really like these. But yeah, that's a whole order from SD Bullion, and this is when prices are $20 less. So that's kind of what you get nowadays for your money, like getting the bare minimum. Not even getting a full half tube or nothing like you could in the old days on an order. It's just amazing the way that this has went down. And with continued uncertainty in the world, it seems like it's going to go nowhere but up. So again, this might be the last unboxing you ever see around here. Because, if I'm going to go get 2 or 3 ounces, I'll just go to the LCS. Like, I don't even know why I would waste my time trying to go through the mail. Unless this once a year thing. But who wants to see an unboxing of 3 ounces of silver? Like, only the high rollers can afford to have a cool unboxing where you get like 10 coins or something like you could in the old days. Have a variety or a half tube or whatever. Situation and times, they are changing, and the times is I don't know if anybody's got any live feeds going, but I guess the Iranians are protesting. There's lots of riots, or not riots, but celebrations in the streets. But I don't know if that's leading to actually any governmental change yet. I don't know. I guess you'd have to get through the first 72 hours to really get a feel for who's going to take charge, you know. And then you got the way Iran is, the way these missiles and drones have went out to all these other countries. They've definitely really isolated themselves. Um, and what was interesting, I don't know if anybody saw it Thursday night. The Pakistanis attacked the Afghans after the Afghans did something stupid, I guess. But yeah, I guess the Afghans and Pakistanis were going at it there for a minute, and I don't know what that's all about. But I wonder if it had anything to do with what's going on tonight, or started yesterday with Iran, because Afghanistan borders Iran. If you're going to go at, that was one of the things that was hypothesized for the last 25 years, is that we were getting in Afghanistan just to have a back door into Iran, have them flanked out. And, we pulled out seemingly now, but it's kind of interesting how as soon as we get ready to attack Iran, now Pakistan attacks Iran. Who's Pakistani's allies? Kind of where do they lie? Because we've been, feeding them for 20 plus years because of the Afghanistan thing, but they're definitely going at odds with our India, and they're definitely a wild card in a lot of this international diplomacy play, I guess you would say. But what else is going on? How's everybody's winter? I mean, out in the West, I guess the whole West, everything from Omaha to everything west of Omaha it's the warmest winter ever recorded, and it makes sense because it's been super warm. I think we just about touched 70 today, and makes you want to start planting the garden, but we're going to get bit in a couple of weeks. It's just going to be a matter of time before we get back down to 20s at night. But it's been just unbearably hot for February. Can I not zoom from here? Guess not. I guess I can't zoom from this position, but yeah, so we got some coins, such as it is, trying to do the things, save a little bit, but you got to take priorities when things get the way they are, with the prices the way they are. So that's what we're doing. But hopefully everybody has taken advantage of, if you're in the West, the mild winter to do all the things. And I guess if you're in the East, surviving the winter and getting through it, and continue to advance the ball otherwise, despite any of the issues you might be having with the weather and snow and ice and all those things. But hopefully we get started some seed planting going on here soon. I've got I just laid out my kind of some of the things. I want to do some onions and get some carrots, spinach, cabbage, lettuce separated here, get them started. Got my seed schedule laid out. I'm a little bit behind on a couple dates, but we'll see. It's never one of those things, like I never want to get it too far ahead. I can get a little ahead and still cover plants, if it gets a little cold in late April or something, but don't want to have a whole garden planted and have to deal with potentially losing something. So I need to replan my whole layout plan from last year. So I gotta redo that, see what we're gonna do. But I'm thinking we might, where the garden was 4 years ago, down the hill where we had the garden 4 years ago was an animal pen. thinking about turning it into just pumpkins and just potatoes and doing everything else up here. Um, so to deal with some issues of cross pollination, and seed quality after the fact, especially with the squash. Um, Thinking about doing that. So we might have a two garden solution, if you will, kind of like a two-state solution. But we'll see how that goes. Planning for this coming year, and trying to figure out what we're going to do. But that's an idea. Have to close off another pin a little bit to get the pumpkins and the potatoes down there, so I have hopefully just maximizing the pumpkins, because you remember the pumpkins from last year, they were pretty minimal. So that's our on the agenda this next couple of weeks, getting some seed starts. I still have the tomatoes or I shouldn't say, the tomato and the pepper plant. I have one of each that we wintered over that are doing really well because it's so warm outside. I'm able to leave it outside. Gets lots of sun, so that's keeping it healthy. It's actually growing in a little bit. I don't know if I mentioned it. Right when I pulled them, so I pulled them out of the ground mid-October, put them in a pot, brought them in, and I was taking them out in the day for sun, and the dadgum geese just plucked all the leaves off of it, off of both of them, one day when they were just down low where they could get to them, and geese being geese, going after anything green, totally stripped them down of all the leaves. So I think that definitely put them in whatever shock. If they weren't in shock already, that definitely put them behind the power curve, and now they're starting to get some leaves back the last month or so, recovering from that. So the winter over of a tomato and a pepper plant is still in the experimental phase, but we'll see how it goes. Who we got? Hello, Bryce. How you doing? Thanks for checking in. Truth Free's got chicken and seeds, right? Yeah, got to have the chickens and the seeds. We got tons of eggs. The chickens are really knocking out of the park with all this warm weather. The chickens just have went crazy with the eggs. They've had no challenges with the lack of freezing weather that we've missed. That the chickens just continue to flourish on that end. So hopefully everybody else's chickens are doing well. I guess they're starting to have chicks in the feed stores. I guess that's starting to go on now in different places, and you can buy your seeds. Looking to get potentially four more fruit trees. We'll see. Would like to get maybe a couple cherry, need another plum to go with the one we bought at the end of last year, and maybe another apple, some sort of apple. And who we got tricking in here? Somebody using bad words, it looks like. I don't know. What's up, Saint? How you doing? It says you needed moderating for saying yo. That's kind of typical YouTube. What's up, Saint? How you doing? Good to see you. You missed some of we got our annual installment of the Kookaburra. I got the horse, and I got the dragon in this unboxing. And I was just talking about it earlier, Saint. I know you're kind of a silver guy. I was talking. This might be the last unboxing we ever do, just because they're so anticlimactic. Because an order of silver, there's nothing in it. A full to get shipping and get free shipping. You don't 3 ounces and you're tapped out. And the cowboy round from SD Bullion there, the cowboy round's pretty sweet. And they got that rifleman round too that I've been wanting to do a roll, but I don't know if we'll get a whole roll with the way prices are. But they're definitely a nice design, and hopefully they come up with a third design of some sort to match. But a good pieces of silver there for the Saint. Love the Kooks. Yeah, you and Dad on YouTube too, I guess. Yeah, Dad's been stacking them up, saving all the different years. Freeze dry the eggs. Yes, that would be a good plan. Freeze drying the eggs. Had my eye on a freeze dryer for a while now. Haven't pulled the trigger on it, mostly because space to put it and have it ready to use, instead of having to move it around and like bring it out, put it up, set it up, and it just doesn't get used as much. Having a place you can dedicate There it is. Use it. It stays there. You don't have to move anything around it. You don't have to move it around. Um, so that's kind of the reason how I pulled the trigger on the freeze dryer. Um, but yeah, that would be ideal, is to freeze dry eggs among other things. Especially once the tomatoes and everything start coming in, freeze dried fruits and vegetables. In particular, that's the appeal to the freeze dryer. I mean, obviously, prepared meals you could. We just went through a grip of frozen chili the last week or so. It was really good, but a lot of stuff is frozen. We have a lot of frozen stuff, and freeze dryer could be useful. It definitely keeps the long term storage going. Little ready meals ready to eat. The Saint, start your seeds. No, I was just talking about that right when you checked in there, Saint. I was just talking about, I got my seed kind of, the ones I'm looking at starting right here. I got my plan and my dates and everything. I haven't started anything yet, but the next couple of weeks will definitely be starting. I was talking about how I'm looking at splitting up the garden and having the lower garden, having squash and I should say pumpkin and potatoes, and everything else being the upper garden. I don't know if you remember a few years back, I had a garden in a separate location, kind of parsing that off because it's been an animal paddock for a while now, for the last 3 years, no, going on 4. And so I'll reacquire some of that territory, put the pumpkins and the potatoes down there, and then we would do the regular garden up here, which I was talking about. I have to remake my plan. This is the plan from last year, so I'm going to have to redesign and look at how I'm going to do that. Again, trying to maximize the watermelon output, maximize the pumpkin output. We'll see what else we get. I still have a bunch of winter squash stored away in the garage here in the beginning of March, and I still got one giant pumpkin. The giant pumpkin, I should say, not one. That's the only one we got. The one giant pumpkin, we still have it, so we can still parse that up and cook that down or whatever we decide to do with that. So we technically would have some, if we had to have squash soup or something because we're all starving to death, we technically would still have that available in the big picture of things, So it's all good. Wait, not freeze dried. I meant hydrated, dehydrated. Oh, you're talking about dehydrated truth freeze? All right, dehydrator. Hey, I mean, a dehydrator would be good too. I dehydrated a bunch of veggies a few years back, and I don't know, just didn't really work well. I need to get back in making some jerky. I made some pretty decent goat jerky a couple of years ago, and never redid that. I think sheep jerky would be really good. Sheep jerky, I think, would be comparable to beef jerky. Pemmican. Yeah, pemmican's got like what, a bunch of different, got like blueberries or something in it, different berries. Healthy, as a healthy food. Healthy dried snack. It'd be a good thing. I wonder if these juniper trees we got, when the juniper berries come out, I wonder if juniper berries would be a good thing to make into pemmican, to just have the different, because they've got pretty good medicinal properties in juniper, and some pretty good, not necessarily vitamins, what's the other name? They're not amino acids. One of those vitamin terms for different vitamins. But anyway, yeah, juniper berries. Got to look into there. Maybe they would be, they're not a very juicy berry, so the effect of their juices wouldn't be that great, compared to some others. So that would be a benefit, I think. But you don't eat a lot of juniper berries because they definitely have a laxative effect as well. They're good for the digestive system overall if you got issues. But, Truth says pemmican equal parts beef, tallow, and full nutrition. Oh, yeah, maybe I'll just substitute sheep in for that, though. I think it would probably work just as well. And jerky is excellent protein indeed. I agree. So that's the unboxing. That's kind of what the main part of the video was, and checking in on the Iran. I don't know if Saints got any updates from Iran. Anybody watches anything? I don't watch anything on TV, so I'm just getting everything off of the Twitter and YouTube and what they're sharing there. So probably the Indian news channel would probably be a good thing to watch on YouTube about right now. I haven't checked it out. Probably what I'll go do after this is kick on the Indian Wyon, and they got News 18 or whatever. Check those out for the situation updates over there, and really keep your eyes open tomorrow for when markets open for the different oil, etc. Once the market's open for oil, gold, silver, platinum, palladium, copper, all the things, we'll see where it goes. I guess the report is that Kuwait has already determined they're not opening their markets tomorrow. So there's going to be a gap because that's a big oil market, right? So like pricing of oil is going to be missing some price action tomorrow when Kuwait opens or doesn't open. We'll see. Who knows what else? I'm sure Iran has got whatever pricing mechanism they have is going to be broken. So where do the Chinese go to get their oil? Would be the question, I think. The Saint says, finding cool old coins in my change. People cashing in some of their pig. Is that right? You know, it ain't like it was 20 years ago where you might find one every blue moon. Now I haven't seen one in forever. And actually, there was a where my daughter works. A girl got a silver quarter in their somebody gave them as part of their change. They gave them exact change or whatever, and I guess she didn't realize it until they'd already left or whatever. But apparently they didn't know what they were giving her because they just gave it to her as a quarter, and it was I think it was in the 50s. It was a 1950s era quarter, so it wasn't like a borderline 64 or 63 or nothing. It was pretty old. That was interesting. That somebody would turn that into with change, and you got to wonder if people are raiding their cookies or like their change jars that grandpa's got set aside that they just don't know about. That's why when it comes to education, educate your kids and your grandkids about this stuff so that they're not making stupid decisions. Because a quarter, I mean, even this was a couple months ago, so this silver was over 50, I think, when this happened. I mean, that still put a quarter at like $15, or maybe, well, a little bit less than that. But still, $10 for a quarter, like it's not. I mean, it's pocket change, but especially compared to what it used to be, because quarter or $10 doesn't go nearly as far as it used to. You can't get a value, fast food meal for $10 anymore. That's how sideways things have gone. The inflationary rates are killing us. What is Truth saying up here? If it was fun, Iran is a lie. Save pennies that are copper, says Truth. Yeah. And God does love it. God loves everybody. We have to come to him, though. But yeah, getting your old 82 and earlier pennies is something I've been doing. I've got a grip of them, but I don't know if it might be maybe 4 pounds of copper. So it's a lot more than the penny value, but the thing that I've always thought about the strategy of copper pennies, pre-82 pennies, is you'd have a meltdown capability to make some copper trigger plates and copper connections and copper wire if you ever needed it. When it becomes so expensive, they put cheap aluminum in there instead, and you want some really good contacts, make your own copper. Make your own copper contacts. That was my thought behind some of that. Is just things are going to, when you get replacement strategies, when people start replacing things because other things are too expensive. They've talked about this with silver already, with solar panels, that there's a certain price point where companies will start using cheaper materials, but you're going to lose efficiency. They will lose efficiency in particular, but it's cheaper. They can still get the dollar and make the money, but with silver, they can't, justify the cost and make a profit off of it or whatever. So that's an interesting take on that as far as the shiny stuff here. And replacement costs. I think, the people talk about putting copper in solar panels, just like it's not the same. The reflectivity in particular, and the connectivity is a noticeable degree lower from copper to silver. So, what price point that is, the price of copper keeps going up. Yeah, who knows? Copper's already recycled. What point do they really get into recycling silver at a significant rate? Actually, that brings it up. This reminds me, there's a company nearby here. I think we've talked about Comstock Metals in the past when they were actively mining in the Virginia City area, and they were pulling gold and silver out, a decade ago. And I guess they closed down operations like 2018. The price point wasn't good or whatever. And now Comstock Metals has a recycling program where they're recycling solar panels. They're basically, the business is they bring all these old solar panels from California. They bring them over here. They break them down, separate the metals, all the different metals that are in there, not just the silver, and recycle them. So it's a whole business model that they got going on over here. So that's interesting, talking about recycling stuff. Hey, what's up, Liberty Bleeds? Did we get your comment? It says somebody handled. There's no other moderator but me, but I guess I handled it. YouTube, when they hide the weirdest comments, nice shiny HDP, and it says it's hidden. For some, need to be held for review. What's going on, Liberty Bleeds? Do you ever sleep? You're up at like 4 a.m. Here it is, 10 at night. What are we working on? Almost 10. You're still up. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you got, I was just doing the unboxing. I was talking earlier, Liberty Bleeds, about the days of unboxing are going to be over because they're just so anticlimactic. This is my meeting minimum shipping requirements basically back when I first ordered these, and I got some of the collector permit stuff to get in the collection this year, and it's just, you get not even 4 ounces, and that's pretty anticlimactic unboxing. So the days of unboxing for me in particular might be over, just for there's no wow factor anymore, and it's just not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot of content there with that, but I got a couple of the Perth Mint pieces and the Cowboy round, and got the half-ounce Dragon. SD was having a special on those when I picked those up. But like I said a while back, it's always good when you order your silver and it shows up worth more than when you bought it. That's always a plus. But the price action is the price action. The price action is just out of control. See where we're at here. Yes, this is the blade is that's the lake knife that the Midwest Prepper Guns Coast to Coast won it from him years ago. Well, was it 7, 8 years ago now? The infamous lake knife. I can't remember who it was. One of Guns' viewers back then, when he did the giveaway, said, throw it in the lake. So I went and threw it in the lake. But we recovered it. It's too nice a knife to do anything other than put it on show. It's definitely a high-end quality knife. But its days of opening boxes might be over. We might have to put it to work doing other things, the way things are going. Recycling gold and silver. Silver in particular, gold not. I don't know if they'll start. People recycle gold out of computers and stuff, but in particular, the silver recycling, you figure, has got to pick up at some price point. And this the local example, there is a recycling motive, and it's for silver and other metals, not just silver. So recycling solar panels has a lot of recycling components too, and it saves, their big selling point to all these California companies is it saves landfill costs. They're not filling up landfills with solar panels. They're able to bring them over here and recycle them because guess what? Recycling a solar panel can't be done in California because of all the environmental regulations. Make it make sense. Whatever the environmental factors are going into it, it's mostly they do a lot of leaching in a closed environment. You have closed hoods and stuff to do the air when you're leaching stuff out, but they break down mechanically the solar panel and strip and then soak the material in a leaching solution of some sort. I've read it online. It's kind of interesting, but they can't do that in California. It's too hard to get started. So this company that's been over here for years doing mining kind of opened up a recycling business to benefit off of California's retardedness. Lack of a better word. But it is. It's just California. So it's the only word that fits California. Hey, what's up, Vegas Stacker? Says his next unboxing might be a Freedom Seed dispenser. All right, getting a long gun. Long guns are always good at unboxing. You haven't either. I mean, goodness, a long gun unboxing. I mean, there's only certain channels that get away with that anymore. Like long gun unboxings are few and far between. Every now and then you might get a shotty or a handgun, but getting a long gun unboxing, I guess YouTube really cracked down on people. Like they don't like that at all. So be fair warned, Vegas. Like they might come after you. What's up, Liberty Garden? How you doing? Liberty, you missed the talk about the seeds. I was talking about my seeds. I've been getting ready. I haven't got any started yet, but doing the garden plan and just how I'm going to redo it for the coming year, and got to get my dates out and see where I'm at. We're only behind on a couple plants. It's not terrible, but it's been so warm. It's like you could easily start a garden right now until, guess what? There's going to be a cold snap at sometime in March or even early April or even May that kills everything. So, it's like you want to get ahead, but just because the weather's so good, but like, what's the point at some point? Like it's just, you're playing with fire, but yeah, I hope you're doing well, Liberty Guard. Hope those cows are doing good. I hope your fences are all up and you didn't have any. I don't know how close you are to those fires. There's been lots of fires out your way. Kansas, Colorado, Texas, Oklahoma, all kinds of fires from that dry area you got out there. It's crazy. Freedom Seed dispensers are cheaper than precious metals. At a certain point, especially. You consider not what I paid, what these are worth now, 3.5 ounces. That'll buy you a shotgun. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Getting a Maverick 88 if you don't have nothing else, or getting a Mossberg or something. Hey, it's like you got to choose your priorities. If you don't have a shotgun, get a shotgun. Rule number one. Like, forget about this stuff. Make sure you got a shotgun. I shouldn't have to say that to anybody on here, but maybe you need an extra. Maybe you added some, trigger pullers to the family. Like it's always good to bring in. Everybody should have one of each: long gun, pistol, shotgun. Everybody should have one of each. That's my rules. That's kind of my thoughts. All right, Vegas Stacker's back to work at the tables, I guess, doing the thing. 85 for Liberty Garden. That is just crazy. Yeah, I guess it was 100 in Arizona today. Just brutal. And it's still February. If I look on the calendar, it still says February, and it's 100 degrees down in Arizona. That's just not fun. Liberty says, have to get seeds in the ground or buy plants. Yeah. Well, I'll be planting some seeds. I do most everything from seed. We usually do a mix depending on what variety of tomatoes we want or something, or pepper. Those are usually what we buy. If we buy anything, is get a different variety of pepper and tomato. But everything else we grow from the seed. Yeah, get a shotgun. Even the previous president says, right? Go get a shotgun. I mean, it's not bad advice. Finally agree with Joe on something. It's not the end all be all, but is an excellent tool. And use all your tools appropriately. Um, Potentially, who's held for review? Come on, got it. Well, I don't know why YouTube does what it does. Didn't I get some snow? Says the Saint. Yeah, exactly, Saint. It was snowing last week. Um, so what? 10 days ago, that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was just dumping snow. A little bit of snow on Saturday, last Saturday, Friday night, Saturday, and it's just been hot all week. It's been in the 60s like all this week. Just insane weather. Like you're saying, it's the warmest West Coast has been in a long time. So yes, we did just have some snow, and I guess it melted off really quick because I think it rained up in the mountains on Tuesday. It like the snow level was like 9,000 feet when it weather came in Tuesday night, Wednesday, I think it was, and the mountains got a lot of rain, and it destroyed a lot of that snow that actually fell. So yeah, it fills up reservoirs, but as far as snowpack for the rest of the summer, really took a step back where they had. That was a huge leap forward last week, and it just all got taken down with that rain we had earlier and very minimal snow at higher levels. So that wasn't good. I mean, if anybody saw the reports of avalanche last week, what's going on out there? Somebody barking. All is well. But yeah, it's been just a warm winter, really warm. Truth says, how is it hot? That's weird and strange. We were just thought, well, yeah, the East has been really cold, right? All up and down. It was down in the 30s in Florida for a couple of different weeks. It's just, I mean, weather goes in cycles. I mean, granted, it's record warm in Arizona, I guess, and this is the warmest winter on record in the west half of the country. But the East got cold. Just, I mean, jet stream and currents can work like that, but it does make you suspicious, right? It does make you suspicious of the potential for any weather manipulation or anything. But, I can't go out and show you the guy behind the curtain, so it's all speculation and conjecture to a certain degree. But you do have the concern that people are having their own agenda to make this happen like this. And you see the fires down the middle of the country in the middle of February, like sus. And then what kind of fire season we're going to have out here out west if this keeps up, if we don't get some serious storms to get some more water in the ground. It's going to be concerning here. That's you just got to deal with what you got. Really, the why you can't worry about so much. We have been warned of times such as this, so forewarned is forearmed, and just adapt and be ready, because what is it? A quarter of the Earth's grass will be burned up in trees, something like that, or a third of the Earth will be burned up. So it's been told what's going to happen. It's just a matter of what timing, and is it going to be in our time or another time? We can only do so much. But it would be nice to if we don't get the water, have to flex and do something else. Won't be eating nearly as many vegetables or whatever it is. Being ready is the operative term here. Correct. What's our battery looking like? We've been going for a while now. See if anybody has all right. So been running for a minute. Anybody got any other subjects with the impending oil price rise and gas price rise and basically the whole commodity markets tomorrow afternoon could go just totally haywire. I think we could expect it. It's like China's been getting ready for this for a while. I don't know that they knew they would get locked out of oil this quickly, or how locked out are they? The conjecture is that they've lost Venezuela and Iran. They're not going to be able to get oil, but what have they got on the back burner? What's their tertiary plan? The Chinese play chess, 100 years ahead of time. So, what's their game plan to adapt to this? I don't know that they didn't know that this couldn't happen. I'm sure Venezuela wasn't their end all be all because they knew what hemisphere it was in when they got into business with them. So was that more just a stick in our eye while they were trying to secure other means? There's the whole oil fields of the Pacific, just like Japan got kind of locked out of those that caused Japan to make some of its moves. Like China could make similar moves, um, successfully or unsuccessfully, to be determined. You know, um, still is what it is. Yeah, right. Liberty ends. China can still buy from Russia for sure. Um, Russia, what was it? It was a few years back when Russia first got sanctions done for the Ukraine thing. They were trading oil with China for something. I think maybe the big deal was they were trading directly with China for Chinese yuan. I think that was the big deal because it wasn't in dollars, and so obviously that sidesteps the petrodollar and all those issues that come with that for the bond market and everything else. So I think that may have been the big deal. I don't think it was for gold, but China's definitely setting themselves up to trade in gold and other minerals, for that matter. Their whole strategic mineral. What are those metals? What are the lithium and stuff like that? What's it called? What kind of mineral? Strategic minerals, I guess, is the word for it. The things we've kind of prioritized and the things that they've been developing that we're way behind them on. Because a lot of those things, if any of our goods use them, come from China first, like rare earths. There you go, Saint. The rare earth metals. Yeah, the the rare earths. Um, which is the thing is, the U.S. has them, but we've been environmentally locked out from using them because of stupid policies. And now it takes 10 years to develop a site to actually get them out of the ground. So we're 10 years behind the power curve if you wanted to start getting them right now with, cadmium, even uranium. We should be able to self-produce uranium, and we just refuse to. We should have a nuclear power plant in every home. Everybody should have their own little nuclear reactor. But no, we're stupid. Nobody, well, the technology doesn't exist yet. Somebody out there needs to think of, do this. Get out there, make your little mini nuclear reactor, make it like a microwave in every home. Boom, energy independence. PG&E and Warren, Warren Buffett and his NV Energy and all the other power companies won't like that, but hey, it'll accomplish a lot for the American. You want to unlock the potential of America? Get everybody their own nuclear reactor in their home for basically endless energy for years in a home setting. Yeah, it would just totally dominate. And then electric cars would be a doable thing at that point, probably. Everybody can charge at home. Gas and oil. What would you? Use it for a few things, but you wouldn't need it for much. Oh, it's the Saint says Chinese fishing boat blockade is kind of crazy. You talking about the one off Peru? I saw something about off Peru and Argentina, or off Peru or Chile. It was off Chile, Peru and Chile, maybe something about that, or a Chinese blockade around Taiwan. We're talking about. I'm not sure. There can be a blockade in a lot of places. The Chinese fishing boat, the Chinese fishing fleet is like the biggest navy in the world times 10, I think, just based on number of ships. But how many missiles do they carry around on those ships? That's the catching question that DoD is probably having to worry about right now. Is how many of these fishing boats running around have surface to air or surface to surface missiles? That's what I would be worried about. How many fishing boats are going to the Persian Gulf right now? Bikes and Bullets is checked in. What's up, late night guy? Yeah, it's past midnight, past your bedtime, Bikes. Oh, excuse me. Getting a little parched here. I have to get some water or something. Yeah, we got a few show me pieces on the unboxing, Bikes, that you missed. But I was just commenting, this might be our last unboxing we ever do, just because it's so minimal now with the prices the way they are. You get a few ounces and that's it. Like, okay, unboxing's over. So this is just a few of the collector pieces, and I got a Cowboy Around last month that just got here. because delays and they're busy and all the things add up to, yeah, I bought it at this price and now it's worth this price, which I guess is not a bad thing, but crazy times we're living. Oh, the Saint says fishing boats organizing towards near Taiwan. Yeah, that's kind of been one of the long held kind of strategies that people have talked about. It's still before midnight, says Bikes. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost my bed. It's kind of my bedtime anyway. I got to get in bed before you do, I guess, Bikes. I'm getting old. Truth says programmable money. Check Catherine Fitz. Yeah, programmable money is come. I mean, goodness. There was a couple of videos this week that I was watching and just kind of looking at the way gold and silver is going, in real money, and just I think I hypothesized this a while back in a video, but just gold is going to continue to remain a standard because the central banks are hoarding it to such. Gold is still going to be a trading standard between central banks, but they're going to do whatever they're going to do to make it to where the little guy cannot have the value transferred for metals, whether it's outlawed or they get so much of it in their hands that we're not able to benefit from it, or whatever that case is. Can definitely see who's got what's held for, you got another held for review. What's wrong with YouTube? It's like I don't even have any setting on here to make it screen out so many things, especially so many random and mundane questions or comments. Are not even like, nobody's saying any bad words. Like, what's wrong with you, YouTube? Why are you holding these for review? But yeah, programmable central bank digital currency, or stable coins as they're going to call them, whatever it is. I think Trump's played word games with the whole idea of CBDCs and stuff, where what's going to actually happen is the banks are going to issue them. The government's not going to, it's not going to be the government or the Federal Reserve, it's going to be the other banks. So, hey, the government's going to wash their hands of it and say, hey, we didn't do it. Hey, we're just backing their play. And again, they're going to roll it out. It's going to get rolled out with government benefits, Social Security, welfare, SNAP. That's how they're going to roll it out. Just like every other government agenda, direct deposit, all these things they've got done to get you wrapped up in the digital economy. It's all going to be done through the benefit process of, the way the government pays for everything already. You want to do contracts with the government, you got to have a stable coin system. You got to be able to accept the stable coin and transfer it and whatever else. That's the only way you're going to be able to get a government contract. All these defense contractors, that's how you're going to pay your employees once you get on that government contract. Yada, yada, on down the line. You're talking trillions of dollars in these stable coins. And then they're going to expire at the end of the year because you didn't use your stable coin, so I guess you didn't need it. So there's going to be no saving. So no potential loss through that in the system. It's going to force people to spend ahead of time. You're not going to be able to plan ahead and save up. You're really going to be caught in just-in-time spending. Meanwhile, the elites, the people higher up, are just going to continue on trading in gold and other things of value. Going to be a mess. Almost one for C103, right? The Saint says 70 is the new silver floor. It does look like it, doesn't it, Saint? I was talking before the Chinese New Year holiday and when the Chinese shut down their market, my hypothesis was this is the chance. If they're going to knock it down to 50, this is going to be it. And as low as it got was 64, and it just bounced off 64 like for a minute. It wasn't even down there long enough to take advantage of it. It bounced right off of it. And like 70 seems like a reasonable, number. It's going to be in a range, right? Like say 72, 68, or even maybe down to 64 again. But seems like that's the floor. Like, can you imagine if we had been talking like this last year? Like, yeah, this time next year, you're never going to see silver below 50 ever again. Man, we'd have been ran up the pole, wouldn't we? It's crazy how things have changed. What's Bike saying here? Use it or lose it. First time hearing that. Oh, really, Bikes? You haven't heard about the hypothesis of the way they're going to, really lock you in on CB, and plus that minimizes inflation. So if they're able to recoup stablecoin because you didn't use it in time, so it's got an expiration date, it, you know, it keeps you spinning in the economy on a timeline of their desired time, right? Um, Meanwhile, you'll probably be able to get that 50-year government mortgage, mind you. But yeah, that's one of the things people have talked about for a long time is how the CBDCs and stable coins will be programmable and expirable. They'll expire when they're set to expire. So that prevents fraud. It gives all the government all these safety features that they can sell the people on. Like, if somebody steals it from you, they can turn it off. If somebody, uses it inappropriately, they're not going to be able to because it's going to be programmed a certain way. You can't buy liquor and alcohol with your Snap or whatever because it's a stable coin. Never mind, they could already make the rules like that already with these digital cards they hand out for everything. But we're going to make it this way. It's much better for everybody, right? Like, it's the typical government problem, government solution, government problem, government reaction, government solution that we've witnessed throughout history. What's the saint talking about the Hunt brothers for? I don't know where he got the Hunt brothers laughing for. But the Hunt brothers would have loved to have seen you'll never see below 50 again, right? Or we would have been called the Hunt brothers maybe for talking like that. Yeah, if we'd have been talking like, we never see silver below 50, everybody would have been laughing at us like they did the Hunt brothers, right? But yeah, all right. It's been over an hour, folks. Appreciate everybody checking in. Good talk. Lots of stuff going on out there. Definitely, there's no reason to stop doing all the things. It's just like people, there's no reason to stop getting silver, even though there might be a reason to stop doing unboxings because they're just boring now because you just don't get enough silver to make the bang worth a buck. But yeah, do all things. Get those seeds started. Get your seeds in the ground or whatever the case may be. Continue to stack the things. Get the brass and lead taken care of. All the things. The way things are going this winter out here, stock up on water. Water is definitely a concern with everything we got going on. And I appreciate everybody having a good one. And fight the power, man. Don't accept the beast system as much as you can. All this digitized stuff, this is all the implementation of the beast. And it's the culmination is going to be in that AI system they're building. You can see it coming. It's just not, it doesn't read the way the book reads, right? The way the Revelation reads, it doesn't read the way it's getting rolled out. But when you really parse it up a little bit, you're like, that's kind of, we're there. That's where this is all headed. The arrogance of man and what man has created that they think they can get over and be their own gods with this AI stuff and everything is just, selling everybody on it. So take care, everybody. Yeah, definitely prep hard. Pray for everybody that may be in harm's way right now of all stripes, that they receive any protection they may need to get through this time. And let's really pray this doesn't escalate because there's lots of hypothesis about the supercells and everything. So stay salty and stay frosty on that end. In your AO, if you're, anybody can be anywhere at any time, but especially if you're in a more exposed area of built up cities and whatnot, they're more high profile targets. Stay frosty. And live free, folks. We'll see you next time, YouTube. Let's see how I turn this off. Let's see if we get this out of here.